but they still love the track.
Let's send it down to Jason Thomas with more.
Now, this second moto is so incredibly important for Chase Sexton. I'll tell you why. If he goes into next weekend's Fox Raceway finale with a 7-point deficit, which would happen if he goes, gets a second in this moto again, Eli Tomac would then be allowed to go 2-2 and still become your champion. So really, it comes down to this moto for Sexton. He needs to even the score, so it's anybody's championship going into the finale.
Who would have thought that 1 point here and there could make that much of a difference? We say every year that every point counts, but usually riders aren't dealing with 1 point gaps going into races. But yeah, Sexton's got to get some back. What do they need to do to perform today? KTM keys to the moto, Brock.
Well, Eli Tomac's been here, done that. He's a veteran. He's battled for championships down to the very, very end. A good start, focus forward for Chase Sexton. Got a bad start last moto. Wasn't able to focus forward for a while, but he got his way in there. And at one point, it looked like it was going to be a situation where he was going to come in there with a championship 2-point lead, and then it ended up losing. Now he's 4 points down, so he, number 23, has to get a whole shot and win this thing.
They lined up next to each other in the first moto. Not the case this time. They've got Barsha on the 51 and Marshall Welton on the 285, splitting them. And it was actually Sexton that had the first gate pick in the first moto, so Tomac picked second, chose to line up next to him. Sexton had the second gate pick this time, chose not to line up next to Tomac.
Yeah, I don't think Chase Sexton, I'm guessing, I'd love to ask him after the race. Maybe I can get down and talk to him. But I don't think that Chase Sexton wanted Eli Tomac next to him. And I was surprised, but Eli did it. That's head games, baby. That's how you can win championships.
Sexton ended up not getting a good start. You never know. He can always move over just a little bit. There's the path for the first turn. And for Sexton, he said he spent a lot of energy working his way from about 12th all the way up to the lead. And then Tomac just put an incredible speed burst together to retake the lead and get that moto win an hour ago.
He said it was all or nothing, and we saw all or nothing. But you know what? Hats off to Chase. He came back with an all or nothing that last lap, and I've never seen Eli Tomac look over his shoulder as many times as he did in that last lap, but he was, and there was a reason for it. He is losing. But Chase Sexton, next to the doghouse, as we call it, little extra elbow room to the left, can swing a little wide, get him set up for the corner. So like his choice, actually, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah, that's generally where you try to go in motocross, toward the middle of the gates, where most motorsports, the pole or the inside is where you want to be. One other rider to mention, a quiet podium that we almost missed from Aaron Plessinger, who's great on this racetrack, third in Moto 1.
Yeah, I think my summary was that was the best ride for a podium that nobody saw.
That's
and
right.
It was true. I mean, Aaron Plessinger, hats off again. The tip of the hat for his performance, did a great, got third here, hometown fans. But boy, unfortunately, everybody's watching the championship and is watching the 23 and the number 3 of Eli Tomac.
And they have won all but 2 of the motos that have taken place this year. They have been the best 2, no doubt about it. But who would be the best 1? Well, this moto right here is going to be a massive part of that story. We're going into California next week, a track where Chase Sexton has had tremendous success. Eli Tomac had to get the drop on him today. He did the job in Moto 1.
I mentioned the fact that if you're an odds maker, I think Chase Sexton had the advantage. Loves this track, and also great performance next week at Fox Raceway, but now it's switched back. Eli Tomac, if he wins this race right here, 2 seconds in Fox Raceway, wins him a championship, that's all he needs.
Yep, so that's what's on the line here. The setup for the finale. The penultimate round of the championship is here. And look at Sexton getting himself fired up for battle. It has got to be tense down there. They've kept it clean. They've kept it respectful. They've talked about the trust they have while battling each other, but it is about to rev up here.
Oh, good jump by Chase Sexton to see if he can hold on. He does. His teammate looks like Kenny Roczen right inside. Eli Tomac's not bad. He's back in about 5th. He got a pretty good jump, too.
But Sexton is going to grab a very critical Motorsport.com hole shot over his teammate Roczen, and then Dungey banging bars there with Craig. Then it's Plessinger on the 7, and I do not see.
Eli was back in about 6th there. He looks like he's just on the inside on Ryder's right, heading up to Godzilla.
Roczen has taken the lead back over from his teammate Sexton. We say every darn moto how good he is in the opening lap. He retakes the lead from his teammate. Plessinger is up to 3rd.
Yeah,
but Sexton has the start he wants.
Yeah, Aaron Plessinger just came up short on Godzilla coming down, and it looks like we see the familiar number 5. We're so used to seeing that, but now Eli Tomac is either in 4th or 5th, so he's made a couple of quick passes right off the start.
Yeah, I think he squeezed it in front of Plessinger, now trying to get Dungey. We'll have it for you in a moment, but either way, Roczen, we know this, has retaken the lead, had it, Sexton got around him, scored that whole shot. And now Roczen back to the #1 spot.
Yeah, down out of Hoosier Hole there. I think named promptly after Hoosier. We're in the Hoosier State.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's off here. There's a big triple right here. But right when you land there, clearing that wall jump, heading underneath the covered bridge down this straightaway. This can be a tricky section, in and out of the shadows. Lots of ruts right here. Some pretty steep faces on these jumps. So you got to pay attention there. Don't let your guard down.
Tomac has done it. He's cleared both Dungey and Plessinger. He turned a bad start into 3rd place on the opening lap. Sexton, meanwhile, looking to take the lead from his teammate.
Some huge hooked out ruts there. Those ruts have gotten so deep. That inside line is what you want to take, except they're just so full of ruts. It's hard to make any good drive out of it. So crossover, get the green flag under the start-finish line there.
Sexton over that wall jump. Another line on his teammate. Can he run it down to the inside? That's where they hook onto the start. Wow, Roczen riding tight with his teammate. I think he just realized who it was, and now Sexton to the lead.
Yeah, no question. We both thought that the same thing. No question. Kenny's not going to battle and knock down his teammate, but I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't know it was Chase, but Chase was there, and the second look over, he goes, oh, wait, that's Chase. I got to get out of the way.
So now Sexton back to the lead. There's Tomac lurking in 3rd. Roczen, just a power move around the outside, almost gets his teammate back again.
Yeah, Kenny Roczen, there's nobody that has any better speed than he does in the first part of races. He's kind of legendary for that. And right here, he's just not going to run it in, not to be overly aggressive. Let Chase just have a little bit of free space. But this is where Kenny Roczen, as a teammate, can help Chase. We talk about just running a little interference. Kenny, at the beginning of the races, is able to run those race pace. So he can run those lap times equal to these other 2 riders here. And if he could just kind of stay in the way and just impede Eli's progress, that would be a big thing for Chase.
So a critical juncture, even though we're only 4 minutes into a 30-minute and 2-lap moto. But this is Chase Sexton's chance to try to get away and get the points back that he lost to Tomac in Moto 1. But again, long way to go, especially against the likes of Eli Tomac, who is as fit and as strong late in the race as anyone who's ever done it. But right now, it's advantage to the 23.
It is. It's just riding really well. Of course, Chase is, but that first moto, it's a little bit of a head shaker for him. He thought he had it covered, then he lost it. That was kind of like popped the bubble, and then he fought back at the very end. So that, to me, I would be, if I were in the Honda camp, I would have been reminding him how good he did on that last lap. Look at your lap time. Look what you did. You're capable of this, Chase. You can do this all the way to the end.
Event points as they run. That's if we calculated the overall right now, but we got a long way to go. Roczen holding his own in 2nd. Dungey is 4th. Then it's Plessinger, Craig, Wilson, Stewart, Anderson, Freddie Noren, and Marshall Welton just outside the top 10 as we go back to Tomac attacking Roczen. And you see Dungey and Plessinger, the Red Bull KTM teammates, battling behind them.
Yeah, that roost is flying, but not quite as much as you normally see a red Ironman, sorry. But I was looking underneath the banner there, going through the corner, rutted section here. This is where we saw earlier in the 250 moto, that line was a little bit different because Jet Lawrence was actually jumping across the ruts. But this track is just getting rougher and rougher, and the ruts are getting deeper and deeper.
Advantage Sexton to Tomac right now, 2.1 seconds to watch with the Beta Motorcycles drone cam. And there you see, that gap is not that large. So Tomac has plenty of time to work with this.
Boy, they just make that leap just look like nothing. But you see all the ruts there, the multiple selections. And then when you come down here, out of those different lines, you settle it into 2 or 3. But you have 4 or 5 to choose, and then select from there, and they come out. And Kenny just bangs that berm, comes out a little later than Eli. Eli pivots off of it, up the monster launch.
Well, what you really see with that drone cam is those hooks that you like to talk about. The berms are good for about 40% of the corner. And then the shape is completely abnormal of the way you would like to hit a corner.
Yeah, you just saw Eli just take quite a jolt there coming out of that tree corner. That rut's getting a big hook and a big old pothole in it. And
just talk about what creates that scenario, why they're not ideal.
Well, the inconsistency, for one, in the dirt, there's just an inconsistency. There's one's firmer than the other section, and the other section of the dirt's a little softer. The tires are knobs, digging at it every single time. It's just like a chainsaw chopping at it, but the dirt breaks away a little bit differently. Then once it hits that bump, the wheel pops up and then comes down somewhere else and digs harder. So there's just a combination of things that make a track get rougher and rougher. And again, the lines are getting deeper and deeper. Now Eli goes the inside here, and you can see at the very end it almost threw him out to the outside because the thing's getting what you talked about, a hook.
So Tomac cannot get around Roczen, at least early here, and now it's 3.4 seconds between Sexton and Tomac. So Roczen doing his job right now. And as I mentioned in Moto 1, Roczen is not an aggressive rider. He doesn't make contact with others, but he's a very smart rider. So he can be difficult to pass even though he won't rub you.
This is exactly what I mentioned just a few minutes ago. Kenny Roczen could be a huge ally for Chase Sexton and be the definition of teammate. This is a situation where if he can run early on for the next maybe first 15 minutes of this race, do what Ken Roczen can do, run this race pace of these leaders and separate, give Chase a chance just to use that speed that he showed in qualifying and give himself a gap.
Leaping back up and down Godzilla. The Thor battle box, by the way, is showing us the Dungey and Plessinger battle. That's the Red Bull KTM teammates for 4th and 5th. Then Craig is 6th. Anderson, Stewart, Wilson, and Freddie Noren round out the top 10. So a couple of battles to watch in this racetrack. Little mistake there from Eli in the exit of that left-hand corner.
Yeah, you just see how violent the sport can be at times. Sometimes it's poetry in motion, sometimes it's violent. Eli right there, back on the gas, full throttle, big square edge bumps, just violently shook his feet off the pegs. But, at that point, you just keep the gas on, and eventually you'll find those foot pegs again.
Get Plessinger all over Dungey right now. He's looking to make a pass. He got him in Moto 1. See if he can do it again in Moto 2. This is Plessinger's best track and what he considers his home track. Tomac starting to close again on Roczen down this long straightaway under the famous covered bridge. He's got the inside. Is he close enough to complete this pass? The hook got him. Couldn't get a clean exit out of that corner.
Eli needs to make this move soon. And, you're seeing Chase right now just popped his best lap of the early part of this race.
Oh, Tomac almost had it. Roczen protects. Eli squares him. Can he get the drive? He's got it as he puts the Yamaha back on the ground and moves in a second.
Can anybody turn a dirt bike better than Eli Tomac like that? That's just phenomenal to watch. You see him just turn on what appears to be nothing, but Roczen retaliating, keeping it real.
Yeah.
This is what we all wanted to see right here. And you know what? You're talking about some of the riders. These guys, Eli and Kenny's he's trying his hardest. He's really trying to help Honda win this championship.
Honda has not won this title since 2004, 18 years. All the major manufacturers have won this title in between. Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha, KTM, Husqvarna, they've all done it. So there's a lot of pressure.
It is. It's, we call it the curse of the goat, like the curse of the Bambino, but it's a shocking statistic in our sport that Honda has not won it since Ricky Carmichael won it back in 2004 in this premier class.
So Roczen trying everything he can to help the brand by battling Tomac right now. There you see the stats the last time each manufacturer has won. And it has been a long time for Honda, which was once the dominant player in this sport. So that's what's at stake here. Now, if Tomac were to win the title this year, he almost made a mistake in that same.
It's the same corner that caught Sexton in Moto 1. There's definitely a big hook there. That's harder than it looks right there. You're jumping up into a face of a corner full of ruts in a tree corner, and it's a pretty steep, it's an incline that's much steeper than it looks.
Let's get to say what's on the line as we watch this Dungey and Plessinger battle. Dungey here is the last rider to win both Monster Energy Supercross and Lucas Oil Pro Motocross titles in the same season, and that was all the way back in 2015.
Tomac is first retirement. That was his first retirement, right?
1.0, Ryan Dungey. He's come out of retirement now, hadn't raced since 2017. He deals with his teammate Plessinger, and we'll keep tabs on the Tomac and Sexton gap, which sits at 4.5 seconds right now. But this has been a great fight between the teammates.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to click off that lap timer so I can look on the transponders right now. But Chase is continually staying in the 201s, and I have not seen Eli Tomac break into the 201s yet. We know he's capable of it, but the fact that Chase Sexton is running 201s, 201.3s, 201.8s, those numbers on this track, this is the last moto of the day. You can see from the drone cam and other footage how rough it's getting. Those berms are not, these ruts got hooks in them. The berms are not smooth. That's an impressive feat that what Chase Sexton's doing.
And by the way, last time around, Sexton a little bit quicker than Tomac again. So it's a 5-second lead now between the Honda man and the Yamaha rider. And Dungey, who's being pushed by his teammate, you can now see Roczen in some of the longer straightaways on the track. So this could ultimately be a podium battle today, and the world has been waiting for Dungey, who used to live on the podium, to finally get back to the box. Today could be the day. HoosierMotorsport.com whole shot replay.
And you see right here Chase Sexton using that little extra elbow room of the doghouse to do what he needs to do, get around the outside. Kenny starts squirting up underneath, but Chase holds on to that hole shot. But, you know, Eli Tomac's are back in about 4th or 5th right there. He's not in a bad position, but he does not come out as well as I thought he was going to. But it's still, Chase Sexton did exactly what he needed to do.
Yes, that's right. And that was a massive jump out of the gate. And that is all instinct right there. So a clutch performance with the clutch lever for Sexton to get that start as Plessinger continues to lean on Dungey. That's what we're watching right now. Sexton, you can see now, has the most hole shots of anyone this year. And thought Dungey was going to get past, but he holds Plessinger back.
He is, and not only that, we can see just on the top of that screenshot there, right there, that looks like the number 94 of Ken Roczen. So these two are battling really strong, and they're moving their way up towards Ken Roczen just by a bit.
So Plessinger has to go back to work on his veteran teammate, Dungey. There's been some rumors circulating. You know, Dungey was just coming out of retirement. Originally, they said for 2 races this year. He's going to do all 12, obviously. Now, we're hearing rumors of will he come back and race some more next year. That is not out of play. He has not said no to that. He hasn't said yes either. But obviously, it's his call. If he doesn't want to race, he could easily have just said that. So that is interesting how this will transpire in the future. And we're about to have yet another Dungey and Roczen battle. Just like we got a time machine right here.
It is. Flashback 5 years ago, 7 years ago, you tell it. Doesn't matter. But, yeah, we've got to all witness some epic battles between these riders. And right now, Aaron Plessinger's like, are you kidding me? This guy, isn't he like 50 or something? I think Aaron Plessinger's going to be handing an AARP card to Ryan after this race and say, dude, you need to realize that you're not supposed to be racing this hard.
Yeah, Plessinger's entire 450 career, for the most part, Dungey was retired the entire time. Plessinger won the 2018 250 championship. Dungey was already a year into retirement at that point. Now they're teammates. Now they're battling. And Plessinger is getting it done by any means necessary. He's not beautiful through those corners, but he's not slow either.
He used those long legs, started dog paddling through there. Dungey looks over and goes, no way, dude, I ain't giving it up this easy, man. So I think Dungey's going to hand Edward Plessinger a remote control and go, you know what, last time you won a championship, I was using one of these. They were sitting on the couch, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. So it is phenomenal what this 450 class has delivered this year. Yes, Tomac and Sexton are the class of the field, but these guys are still digging and fighting. And right now, Dungey would have that elusive overall podium, but he's got to hold off Plessinger to get it. Plessinger did get a podium earlier in the year at Southwick. And Christian Craig is lurking. You can see in the back.
I just saw that, and I was looking. Jason Anderson's back there, too, and they're still running some pretty good times, and Anderson's always capable of showing some speed. And you know what? He's won 2 overalls this year. It's the only guy that's won overalls other than our two championship contenders here. And then out front, Chase Sexton still holding about a 4-second lead, and it's just starting to dwindle down. And look at Eli Tomac throws his fastest lap of the race. He just did a 2:01 flat, and Chase Sexton 2:01.3. So we're seeing some incredible runs here. That was Eli Tomac's fastest lap of the race.
And the fastest lap of anyone. And what was a 5-second lead went down to 4. Then in the next sector, Sexton was able to pull it back to 4.2, but it is not over.
These guys, I just don't think they got the memo, realizing the track's a lot rougher. The track is just beat to you-know-what. And I'll tell you, I can't believe the times are turning. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, 158 was the best anyone had. That was Sexton in practice. They're not that far off of that. 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. With a 15-minute phone call, you can save 15% or more on your motorcycle insurance with Geico. And you get the feeling these final 15 minutes are going to tell so much of the 2022 story. First of all, as far as Ryan Dungey wanting that podium, he's got to hold off his teammate, Plessinger, to get it. But also, Tomac's not going to go down without a fight. He's not going to just let Sexton have this moto. Can he close the gap?
That's this story isn't over yet. They got 15 minutes more, as you just mentioned, and I just think right now Eli Tomac so badly wants this moto win, because you go into Fox Raceway with the luxury of finishing second, both motos behind Chase Sexton, and still win the championship. That is something he wants so badly. So I'll be surprised if Eli just doesn't start hanging it out here a little bit.
Right. If Tomac were to go 1-1 today and Sexton 2-2, The 7-point lead that would give Tomac means if he finishes second in both motos next week, he's champion no matter what. That is a massive advantage. And you know Sexton knows it, and you know Tomac knows it. So, as you said, buckle up, everybody. The next 13 minutes and 2 laps, it's going to get wild because Sexton has to maintain this gap. And he is. He's got it back to 4.6.
Yeah, it's an impressive. These guys, you know, there you go. Sexton just did his quickest lap of the race, a 2:01.2. So these guys are stepping up each lap. It's incredible.
So Tomac still has the best lap of the moto, but the last time around, Sexton just put in a lap quick enough to get the gap back to where it was. Stay with us.
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Whether it's commuting to work, visiting a loved one, taking the kids where they need to go, going to the big game, or anywhere life takes you, Lucas Oil is committed to getting you there for all of life's important moments. Lucas Oil, it works.
Coming into this year, January, I break my pelvis the week of Oakland. The doctor's like, dude, don't walk on it for a month. I remember calling my parents, I'm like, well, I'm done. Like, and it's contract year. I was like, so I just wasted all this. I don't really see a sport that's like it, to be honest with you.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
We call the Rig Riot, where the Monster Energy athletes greet the fans every Saturday morning, including Eli Tomac and Chase Sexton. While we are away at break, the battle for the podium and a big move by Aaron Plessinger to get around his teammate, Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, right now he just makes a move up to the tree corner there. So, but wow, he takes the outside the long way. Ryan hits that little bit of that hook and that Tucker bump, gets up the inside here. I think Aaron might have had this section on a GNCC race or something. He kind of knew that secret line would develop, but that was a great pass by Aaron Plessinger.
And shout out to Aaron's dad, the AMA Hall of Famer, Scott. I saw him today. He owns a racetrack. There was a boulder on the track. He went to grab it. He got landed on by a motorcycle. He lost his index and middle finger. Lost it. And he's walking around with a giant bandage right now. And he's one of the toughest people I've ever met. Scott Plessinger, his dad, and he's like, it's all right. He just got an ace bandage. This happened a couple like last weekend.
I got eight others, huh? Okay,
yes.
So Aaron Plessinger here trying to do the same thing, but Kenny counters a little bit, blocks him towards the inside. So, again, AP is making some good moves here, and he's got his sights set on that 94, Ken Roczen.
And this would be for third. By the way, up front, Tomac has now got the gap under 4 seconds. It is 3.8. That's about as close as it has been in the last 15 minutes of this moto. So Tomac, we know how strong he is late in the race, and he's throwing down as you watch Roczen and Plessinger. We've got the Thor battle box, so you can watch Sexton in the lead.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened on that lap, but Chase Sexton 2:03.7, way off of what he was doing. Maybe got caught in a lap or made a mistake. And, of course, Eli Tomac, what's he do? Comes back with another 2:01.6. So another 2:01. Anytime these guys are nailing 2:01s, you're going to work your way towards the front if you can keep doing it lap after lap, and Eli's doing that.
Sexton getting through lap traffic, and Plessinger attacking Roczen. He's on the outside. Can't quite make it happen.
Yeah, that first corner has been such a great passing opportunity. We've seen so many good moves, inside, outside, all different options. But it's been a terrific. The track has raced really well today. This is one of the best we've had all year.
Tomac has it down to 2.3. Plessinger finally completing the pass for third of the moto.
And Aaron, you're seeing he's using all sorts of different lines, inside, outside, and it's not the same line each lap. He takes them all over. He's comfortable going all over this track, and certainly his best track of the year so far.
Roczen showing some staying power like he did last week, fighting back right now in this battle. He actually tipped over in the first moto. That's why he ended up 7th, but he was in the fight all the way until then. Tomac has taken it from 2.8 down to 2.6. So we'll give you the visual here in a moment. Anderson has moved around Craig, by the way, for 5th. You notice that, Brock. And there are your contenders. Under the covered bridge goes Sexton, and a pile of lap riders in front of him. And
boy, this is
Tomac's close.
It is. This is getting close, coming right into our corner over by our compound there, that right-hand corner. Look at the shape of those berms, Jason. They're just every one of them. Some of them are hooked, some of them are not. All the ruts. This is a drop down into a low left-hand corner. Eli Tomac chooses the inside line, runs it down the very, very left side. And now Chase has got a gaggle of geese ahead of him. He's got to figure out a way to get by, and the blue flag is waving.
Yes, but man, the damage done. Tomac has really taken the gap down now. 1.1 seconds in it. There's Tomac on the number 3. Sexton still has one more rider to clear.
That's the corner that Eli made the pass for the lead on Chase in the first one. He just tries to replicate the same move back to the inside here, and now we got one more lapped rider between the two championship contenders, and I think it'll be short work for Eli Tomac to go around him.
1.3 seconds the distance between the 23 and the 3. There's Anderson making moves. He has gotten around Dungey, and that'll move him well up into the top 5 now. Back to Sexton over the top of Godzilla. He's going to have to weather this storm because Tomac is coming.
Yeah, it looks like Anderson went past Roczen into the 4th place there, so I don't know. He's only 2 seconds behind Aaron Plessinger. I don't want to rain on the parade of the Indiana Hoosier faithful for Aaron Plessinger, but boy, Jason Anderson's certainly running some good times right now and getting close.
Sexton gets the drive out of that corner. It's the monster launch here. 1.7 seconds now. So Sexton trying to answer the challenge from Tomac. Unbelievable. They're this close again.
A little different move there. I mean, Tomac took that same line we saw earlier that Dungey got past there, but Tomac, when he hit the little chucker bump in there, he actually popped over the next one and was able to get back on the ground and drive out. So good technique, and Eli is just making a run there.
He's got it down to 1 second. He was much better in that exchange. Tomac put in the late charge to get Sexton in Moto 1. Yeah, and he's trying to do it again.
Yep, there's a little rhythm section in there underneath that covered bridge, and coming through there, he's facing one of the jumps and popping over the next one. So great technique in there, and gosh, these ruts are just getting treacherous.
Sexton, it's got to be clean now. One more lap rider for Tomac to worry about. Let's check the lap time.
Boy, I'd like to see a little more enthusiasm from that blue flag waving from that flagger when a championship's on the line, but Eli's already passed the lapper. He's trying to close in here, but you can see the bikes just dancing around between them. That section in front of the mechanics is getting so rough.
Sexton actually a half second quicker than Tomac that last time around, so the gap sits at 1.5 seconds. That is virtually nothing. Barsha appears to be out of the moto. Looks like they're working on the motorcycle. Troy Lee designed Red Bull gas. Can Tomac get another charge in and get it back to a second on Sexton?
Yeah, we have 5 minutes left and 2 laps, and this time I'm going to try to get that countdown clock. This is my first race here before I going to be the first
I'm
one.
not sure about that.
Yeah,
but yes.
Yeah. Last time I was looking at it almost from a backwards standard. I thought we were going to have 3 laps to go, but we'll see what happens. Right now we probably have 5 laps to go, so it's Eli's got to make a move sooner than later.
And we'll see the split when they hit the next sector. I feel like Tomac's a little closer than he was. And this middle section of the track is where Tomac has done his best work all day long.
That was a good exchange there, that little switchback section, even battling the lap or changing different lines. See if he pops that same thing right there. You see that? He kind of hits it, pops over, gets a little drive down, taking the Aaron Plessinger line down in Hoosier hole there. Big mistake.
Tomac.
Yeah, I saw that coming. He was getting cross-rutted early on. That is possibly a game changer for the Moto. He's going to have to really try to recover from that.
He lost 2 seconds right there. It went from 1.5 to 3.4. So now the advantage shifts back to Chase Sexton. And it is down to millimeters, inches, tiny mistakes making massive differences. And you can see Tomac hanging out now to try to get the time back. This is Anderson on the Monster Kawasaki trying to get Plessinger for third in the Moto with the ETS Racing Fuels drone cam. Anderson, wow, just blows by.
Just blows by. I think Aaron missed that triple coming out of there.
But Anderson was only seventh, I believe, in the first Moto. He went down in the first turn. So Plessinger would still be in position for the overall podium. But what a charge from Anderson right here.
Yeah, if you remember back at that whole shot replay of the first Moto, we saw the 21 laying flat out in the first corner there. So he did a great job of recovering. That's the first time he hasn't been in the top three in many races. But Jason making a nice run here, getting into third place. But again, as you mentioned, it's not going to make a difference for Aaron Plessinger. He'll still end up third overall.
Meanwhile, two things happened at once. Not only did Tomac make the mistake and have a bad lap with a 2:04.7, but Sexton just went back into the 2:01s with a 2:01.5. It wasn't his best lap of the Moto, but it was darn close. And now the gap sits at 6.1.
Yeah, we don't want to nitpick 0.3 of a second 25 minutes into a race, but that was a fantastic lap right there. If there was ever just a flyer sprinter lap for he time to get away and capitalize on the mistake that Eli Tomac made, that was the one for Chase to do it. And this is how championships are won right here. This little moment, that was great camera work to be able to capture Eli's mistake back there. We saw exactly what happened.
And to capture the gap, which is a night and day difference between where it was one lap ago. And it has been so fun to watch these two exchange. The experienced veteran, really a living legend of the sport now, Eli Tomac, with 3 titles in this series. And the young up-and-comer of Chase Sexton. We go back to this battle, which is Craig and Roczen for 5th. They both are ahead of Dungey. Craig trying to work his way around him on the outside.
Yeah, Christian Craig has certainly seen the experience and the racecraft of Roczen here. I mean, he's not going to give it up easily, and it's Christian Craig is trying some different lines, but a lot of these lines come together, so he's going to have to try something a little different than he's doing right now.
Yeah, Dungey's dropped pretty far back now. He's almost 7 seconds behind them. Ran a 2:07 the last time around. Craig.
Yeah, Christian's been quick through here right here. I was thinking maybe he's going to make a run up the inside. And this next corner is a right-hander, so Christian's trying to get back on the ground and get inside. He might have it right there. Good job, Christian. That was and then
the hook got him.
Get the hook. He got the hook. Exactly.
Bounces the bike out of the run, but not enough to allow Roczen to get back by him. So Christian Craig has been digging like this through traffic all year. Now into the number 5 spot.
Yeah, he really has. And this is the Christian Craig we all expected and wanted to see, be out there getting near the front of the field and running well inside the top 5 with regularity. So glad to see him back doing this. It's a nice ride for the Monster Energy Yamaha rider.
Back to Sexton. 8.8 seconds is the gap. Is it over here at Ironman? You never know with the way this championship has gone. Every time you think you figured out right where their momentum is headed, it changes. But the fans here are sensing it. It's a Midwestern boy from Illinois. Come here to Indiana. There's a lot of people cheering for him. I met some riders from the Chicago Dirt Riders Club. They're Sexton fans. They're here to cheer their boy on. And if it ended like this, they would score the exact same amount of championship points today, 47. Sexton would win the overall because the tiebreaker is the better second Moto finish. He's now stretched it to 9.2 seconds, but I'm afraid to say too much right now. It could change at any moment.
The curse of the announcer, but yeah, right now it's, I don't like to say that Eli Tomac is just settled in and realized he tried, he got close, just about fell on the ground. And but Eli has enough distance on Jason Anderson, he could probably fall over and still get back up, but it's just this gap has just gotten possibly too large with just 3 laps left.
And if it ends this way, it'll go back to where it was when the day began. A 1-point lead for Eli Tomac. And how large does a 1-point penalty that Sexton incurred at round 3 in Colorado We had the wheels on the ground safety flag, and he cleared a double jump. Took a 1-point penalty. Now, everyone starts the year saying every point counts. Rarely does a title come down to 1 point. But we are looking at that scenario right now.
Well, now you're just intriguing me. I'm going to have to pull out a result and see if they have, if you look at every one of their moto finishes, do they basically have the identical moto finishes, and that's how they got the point?
The tiebreaker is that we'd have to see, yes.
But how many wins they have? Well, Eli's got more wins, though, but it's we've got to see how it is. How do they go 22 races and come up with the exact same points if you gave Chase Sexton back that one penalty point? So pretty impressive. It's, again, we said that at the opening of this show. Never in the history have we had a 10-round race go this late into this close on the points. And now we're 11 rounds into it. So obviously never in history have we ever gone 11 rounds and been 1 point apart.
We had a 2-point gap all the way back in 1996 between Jeremy McGrath and Jeff Emig. And Emig ended up winning that title. But a 1-point gap, I've got to think this is the closest it will ever have been going into a finale. And Chase Sexton, well, Tomac answered the call of the first moto. His back was against the wall. He had to respond. He passed Sexton. He got the moto win. And this has been the everything I can do, everything you can do, I can do. Sexton does it in Moto 2.
The ebb and flow of the last 4 motos in this series has just been remarkable. And even though this is not going down to the last, 1 second at this time, this is still, there's so much going on right there behind the scenes and what ifs and, psychological warfare, confidence shifting one way or the other. This is just incredible. This is now flowing back towards Chase's situation. I mean, going into Fox Raceway, he has to feel comfortable. But, man, 2 motos is a long time.
Oh, yeah, and he won the 2 motos when we raced at Fox Raceway to start this season. And how about this? We're celebrating the 50 years of pro motocross in America, and this would be the closest championship fight we have ever had in 50 years.
Well, got to put an asterisk in there. There was one that finished in a tie, but there was this one that's had this many motos this late.
Yes, at this distance.
Some of the early races way back when, honestly, some of those split series and things, some of them were only 5 and 6 rounds long in each classes, so it was a little different, but it doesn't matter. This, to me, has been the most exciting motocross season that I've ever witnessed, and I have been around. I think I unfortunately counted it was 46 years that I've been seeing AMA Pro Motocross. I don't want to age myself, but that's 46 years. I haven't seen all 50 of them up close and personal, but I have seen 46 of them.
There's a couple guys still at the races that have been here for all 50, so you're still a youngin'. Don't worry.
I know, I'm a young buck.
Last lap, and Chase Sexton answering back. He was in a must-win Moto 2 situation last week. He was in a must-win Moto 2 situation this week. He did it. Now, credit to Tomac. He was absolutely against the ropes in Moto 1. So he has proven his bona fides, his clutch performance in the first moto, but Sexton has answered back this time.
He has barely a half a lap to go right now. Again, you mentioned the back against the wall, and each time he keeps answering the bell. He's like a prize fighter that just won't give up, and this is hard. Eli's, like, I've been here before. I'm supposed to be able to break this young kid, but Chase has been in some championships hunts too, and he's had some ups and downs, and he's had some heartbreaks. And what I like more about Chase is that, he's had some races where he's been leading and falling down. Those are heartbreakers. They hurt. They hurt. And the fact that he's able to recover from this and just go, you know what? Again, Control-Alt-Delete out of the memory bank, and to do what we've seen right here today, this is beyond impressive, and it's taken years and years of training, and it's, again, got to tip the hat.
Couple of fist pumps over the big jumps on this lap. This has to feel so good to bring it down to the finale. Chase Sexton wins the Ironman National. It was a tie on points for the day at 2-1 and a 1-2. We leave another race saying both riders have reason to feel confident to take the positives away, but Sexton is the overall winner. He's down 1 point. It's simple. And look at that. Still so much respect between these two. But I was going to say it's simple. Whoever beats the other rider at the finale is going to be the champion.
Yeah, Eli's got to hope for a 1-2-2-1 something. They got to split motos next week, and I think the ticket sales in Fox Raceway right now. I can't wait.
It's going to be an unbelievable.
It's only
atmosphere.
a week away, and I'm so excited already about it. So it's going to be fantastic. And Honda has an opportunity to win both classes. Been a while since they've done something like that.
Yep, and again, they have not won this title since 2004. They've got a shot going into the finale. You did mention, though, that 1 point lead for Tomac. Sexton has to outscore Tomac next week. If they go 2-1, 1-2 again, Tomac will win the title by a single point, but that's next week. Sexton wants to soak this up in front of the home fans. He's done it. He's won.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've had a Midwest boy do so well like this. I'm Austin Faulkner's from this area, but I think back about the great champion Mark Barnett, and from the Illinois area, and so it's fun to see seeing the love be spread around the country a little bit, and I guess Ryan Dungey's a little upper Midwest, but it's nice. This is a hometown area, and Aaron Plessinger, another one from this area, so when you get to ride this chocolate cake, I guess you learn how to ride motorcycles real well.
Oh, yeah. All the lessons have paid off for Chase Sexton and certainly Eli Tomac as well. They put on one heck of a season. We still have one race to go. We'll talk to them about today after this.
Clean up your toughest messes super easy, super fast. Super Clean Floor Absorbent is formulated to do the work for you. Just apply and watch the spill absorb in minutes. Super Clean Floor Absorbent weighs only 3 pounds, so it's easy to pour and store no matter how messy the situation gets. For the 1-2 punch and stain fighting, follow up with Super Clean Degreaser for a like-new finish. For all your greasiest, grimiest, toughest tasks around the house, shop, or garage, Super Clean gets the job done. Super easy, super fast, super clean.
You were born for this. Folks may think it's just cutting grass, but you know better. Those weeds were born to die, and Rhino mowers were born to kill them. Get to work now with a Rhino TW Series single spindle mower with a 2-inch cutting capacity and prices starting at less than $1,300. And check out Rhino's great long-term financing options. You were born for this. Rhino, born to lead.
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Whether it's commuting to work, visiting a loved one, taking the kids where they need to go, going to the big game, or anywhere life takes you, Lucas Oil is committed to getting you there for all of life's important moments. Lucas Oil, it works.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. With a nationwide network of parts and care, Napa helps you get up and go. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
Fans heading to the podium area to celebrate a fantastic Ironman National. Let's show you with our Lucas Oil race recap how it went down. Chase Sexton, an unbelievable jump out of the gate, and he's going to control the motorsport.com whole shot. But he had some early heat from his teammate, Ken Roczen, Ryan Dungey up there as well. Look at Roczen go, though.
Roczen did an excellent job being a teammate here, and we talked about that, trying to help separate. Once Chase Sexton got into the lead right here, and you see Kenny looking over going, okay, go Chase, go, and I'll do my best to just help create a gap here, which he did. He did a great job of holding Eli off, and Eli just makes this incredible pivot, makes the pass, and then sets his sights out for Chase Sexton.
And it got this close, and then Tomac's going to make the mistake.
That's it. So nice to have that camera shot. We got to see exactly what happened. Eli got in there. Ruts are going right. His body position was a little out of where he wanted it to be. Got into the ruts, tangled up high side, and Eli, and look at this. Chase Sexton. And at the gap at the end, almost 11 seconds.
Yeah, Tomac gave it one more run, but at the same time he made that mistake, Sexton put in one of his best laps of the moto, and then the gap was too big, and I think Tomac said, all right, I'll see you next week in California, and we'll take it down to the wire, which is really what the fans wanted to see. If you're a Tomac fan, probably would have liked the 1-1 today. But in the end, it's advantage Sexton, and the overall, they tie on points for today's racing, and we are set for a fantastic race next weekend. But first, let's find out how this weekend transpired. We'll send it down on the podium with Jason Thomas.
Well, I don't have a rider yet again, so here we come. Here comes Chase Sexton. Gonna be your overall winner. Chase, I gotta ask you about that 2:01 you did with about 3 or 4 laps to go there. Eli closed up, and I don't know if you knew he made a mistake on that same lap, but you dropped your best lap, almost best lap of the moto at that same time, and that was really the difference.
Yeah, man, I got out front finally, got a good start, and I've been wanting one of those for a while, and I just tried to sprint away as soon as I could, got a good gap, and then got into lappers, made a few mistakes, and Eli closed up on me. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a hard race. And it was warm today. It wasn't an easy track. The track was rough. But I just had to keep my head down and never give up. That's my mentality, and it's going to be a fun weekend next weekend. We have 1 point between us two, and hopefully give these fans a good race. And I just can't give it up to my whole team, my whole program, Peter Park, my dad, my mechanic Zim, my agent Beeks. It's just a great group of people, and we're seeing the results of it now.
Well, Chase Sexton, that was 70 minutes of hard racing, and we're right back where we started.
And the Midwest faithful supporting their boy, trying to get the momentum as he heads to California next weekend for the season finale. Jason Anderson was penalized actually in this moto for off-track excursion and going too fast off the racetrack. So Plessinger will actually end up 3-3 for the day. As you see our unofficial overall results, Plessinger 3rd overall. Send it back down to the podium. See you, Jason Thomas, who's got ready to talk to.
Eli Tomac, you brought the gap down, you were on fire, you had momentum going, and then you made that one mistake in the back section over here, and it just felt like that was kind of the end of the momentum.
Yeah, it was, and I made a big push right before that. I felt like he got stuck on a few lappers, and I really attacked right when that happened. I could see it, and then obviously after the middle of the track there, down over the little inside single, went a little bit too much, a little too fast, trying a little too hard, and got cross-threaded. So that was it, though. Overall, happy with the day, happy to break away even here, and proud of the team, with the whole weekend, and we'll roll on to Paul.
Oh, Eli Tomac, tell me how many times you've seen Eli Tomac make a mistake from pushing too hard, as he shows you these guys are right on the limit.
Yeah, there's nothing left in it. There's nothing more they can give. They're giving you everything they have, Brock. It's been awesome.
They absolutely are right now, and we talk about this. We talked about with the infractions with Jason Anderson, some of the other riders in the 250 class with Hunter Lawrence. But here, got a busy day for the officials with multiple infractions, but we leave this penultimate round right where we started. 1 point separating this heavyweight battle, and we all can't wait till next week.
Love it. Let's send it back down to the podium with JT.
This might be the most popular podium of the season right here. Aaron Plessinger. These people were going nuts the entire moto. I mean, I was even cheering at one point. Great ride. I know you had to feel great. Even the celebration after the moto was impressive.
Yeah, that one didn't come easy, man. I got off to a great start, and then honestly, I went blank there for a little bit, and I was right behind Dungy for a while, and I don't even know. I don't even remember the moto, man. It was a good one though. I mean, I was out there cruising. I was getting after it. I know I made a few passes, some good ones. I threw a few whips over this tabletop in the middle. Yeah, I was having fun, man. And, yeah, I'd just like to give it up to the whole KTM crew. Red Bull, Baker's Factory, everybody behind me, man. It's been a tough year, but hell, we're back on the podium, baby.
There's a couple fans down here, Weege. Just a couple AP fans.
They're pretty popular anywhere we go, and there it is. There's our finale. 4 straight hours of racing